Hey guys, make sure you follow me on social media. That way we could be a little bit more interactive. You could tell me what type of content you want to see in the futures, and I could keep you guys updated, on videos and when I'm going to upload them, things like that. And also, follow me on Stardust. The Stardust app allows you to film your initial reaction to like a TV show episodes or a movie. It's a really cool app. Like, when I got out of the movie, I like to film those like initial thoughts video. Really easy to sign up and then follow me at allmanfondly. So yeah, thank you guys. Hey guys, welcome back to another review. Before I start the video, I just want to say that I woke up today to the news of Stephen Hawking passing, and when you start a day with that type of news, it's really hard to be positive and to be like energetics and all that, because I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of this man, and to start off the day hearing of the news of him passing at the age of 76 is quite devastating. So I'm gonna try to do my best to be positive in this video, but man, it's not gonna be a good day. I'm just telling you, because this man, he is arguably the most intelligent man that I've ever known. Not know, like I don't know him, but like I'm a fan, and from what I've gathered, he is, in my opinion, one of the most intelligent men ever. And it is a big loss for us. And I just want to say rest in peace, Stephen Hawking. So I got to see Tomb Raider 3 days early. This is the latest video game adaptation from game to movie. It didn't really have a good sort of record. Almost all of the video game movie prior to this was very poorly received by critics. I feel like, personally, my favorite video game movie up until this point was Warcraft, and the movie is not even that great. So I don't know. Video game movie making is tricky, because you want to please the video game, the gamer, like the target audience, if you will. On the other hand, you also want to please critics, and if you make the movie that will please this side, it's not going to please that side, and vice versa. So it's really hard to find that sort of middle ground when it's come to video game movie, and I feel like Tomb Raider came the closest to finding that balance between audience and critics when it comes to video game adaptation. And this is by far easily the best video game movie ever made. Now, I haven't played the game, any Tomb Raider game. I've seen people play it, but personally, I've never played the video game. I've never seen the two movies prior to this, starring Angelina Jolie. I've never seen those. It looks so bad, but So I can't really speak on how faithful this movie is to the video game or to the movie before this, and I can't speak on that. The only thing that I can speak on is is this movie work as a movie? And to a certain extent, it did. Alicia Vikander, she is just an amazing actress, and she killed it as Lara Croft. She is just so good. Like, I love this character. Like, I don't say this very often in a video game movie. Like, when I watch a video game movie, I just want to be entertained. I just want to be, just turn off my brain and just enjoy a silly, stupid movie. But in this Tomb Raider movie, I was actually invest in the character. I was actually, care about this character, because the writing for her is so strong. And, and again, Alicia Vikander, she was just so good at this role. I always give a movie credits when a protagonist make me want to work out. Like, Lara Croft, she is just, the Alicia Vikander, she got to incredible shape to play this role, and when I look at her, like in her tank top, and like there's a scene where she's like boxing someone, and she is in incredible shape, and it's just like, I mean, look at this, guys, look at this, look, to see that arm, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. And not only is she a badass, she is also extremely vulnerable. Like, this is a really relatable character, and how often do you say that in a video game movie? This is gonna sound weird, but I really like her scream. Like, every time she jumped or every time she's like fighting, she get hit, or when she hits someone, she get this scream that sort of, I don't know, it's kind of like a reminder that, you know, it just make me sort of realize that, oh my God, this is not a superhero. This Lara Croft, she is not a video game character per se. She is just a human being. She, you know, she's a kid. You know, she's very young, very inexperienced. She got some skill, for sure, but you know, she's in this really horrible situation where she has to fight people, she has to kill people, and you know, just the performance and, you know, again, the way she screams, it just made me feel like, oh my gosh, she's just a kid who's, you know, been put to this horrible setting and has to survive it. And there's one scene in particular where she met a character, which again, I won't spoil. This is a non-spoiler review, so I'm not gonna spoil the scene. But she met this character, and it's just, the performance is so on point. It's almost brought tears in my eye. Like, she was just like Alicia Vikander. She was just so damn good in this movie. But then the same thing could not be said about the other characters, which is really disappointing because almost all the supporting characters are very, very one-noted. They had very little to nothing to their characters. The main villain, although I could see why he is the way he is. I could see the motivation. I could see, you know, the reason of why he is a psycho that he is. But then just the writing, the dialogue for him is just not good enough. I don't know, I just feel like they spend way too much time developing Lara Croft. And that's not a bad thing at all. But then you have to also, you know, spend that much amount of time on these supporting characters if you want them to be memorable. And none of these supporting characters are memorable. Daniel Wu, who played Lu Rent, he's the guy who owned the boat, who's, you know, helped Lara to get to the island and whatnot. At first, you know, he's pretty likable. He's a likable dude. But then you don't spend enough time with him, and you don't spend enough time with Lara and him, and then it's come to a point where they start caring for each other. I'm like, when did this happen? Like, you guys barely know each other. Like, he starts saying things like, oh, I cannot leave her behind, or I have to find Lara. I'm like, dude, you don't even know who she is. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you just don't spend enough time with this guy. You don't really know who he is, and, you know, you just, I don't know. It's weird. Just the writing for these supporting characters. There are a lot of supporting characters, and the writing for them is just not good. Not good enough compared to Lara Croft. The story is fairly simple, and the thing that I like most about the story is that you learn everything that you need to know about Lara Croft fairly early on in the movie. Like, I would say about like 15-20 minutes in, and you just know who she is as a person. Like, okay, I can get behind your motivation. I know who you are, and I know your backstory and whatnot, and, you know, let's go. Let's go on the journey. A lot of people compare this movie to Indiana Jones for good reason, but for some reason when I watch it, I didn't really think of Indiana Jones as much as I thought of this movie called The Rundown, starring The Rock. I don't know why, but it's not really a positive or a negative. I just thought of, you know, The Rundown watching this movie. It's also got some really intense action sequences. The scenes where she's on that airplane, where she got to, you know, jump before, you know, the wing of the airplane sort of crash. That was really, really intense. There are some chase scenes that are fairly well directed, really, you know, fast paced and whatnot. And Alicia Vikander, she did a lot of running in this movie. There's a lot of, you know, shot where she's got, like, you know, full on Tom Cruise. It was really, really cool. But then the hand-to-hand combat is really poorly edited. And that's a shame, really, because hand-to-hand combat is my favorite type of action scenes. And there are a couple in this movie, and they're just so, you know, there's so many cuts, it's so jumpy, and every time, you know, characters start to, you know, throw hands, and you're just like, oh, here we go again. It's just so poorly edited. Whoever edited this movie needs to be fired. Like, you gotta step up your game, man. Like, if you edit this movie like this, you're not gonna get jobs. You know, you know what I mean? Like, and it's a shame, really, because these actors, they put on really good performances. All the stunt work I thought was really good, and, you know, again, the workout and the weight gain these actors did to be the character, to get into character for this movie. It's just insane. Like, if you watch the movie, just the physicality of these characters is incredible. but then you watch the action sequences and it's not really showing off the physicality, not showing off the skills of the stunt people. And you know, Alicia Vikander, she said she did most of her stunt, and you don't really see enough of that. It's just very, you know, it's looked very artificial, the hand-to-hand combat. It's just one move, like it's just a really simple punch or a very simple kick. It takes like 2 or 3 cuts to finish that one move. There's an excessive use of this cropping technique called the can burn. I don't know if you guys heard of it. If you edit your videos, you know that there's this thing on the cropping called the can burn. So you have a start frame and then you have an end frame, and the shot is going to from that start to the end. It's a way to create movement. It's a way to zoom in and zoom out. But there's so many scenes in this movie where I was like, yeah, that's a can burn. Like if you use Final Cut Pro or even iMovie, I think you know what I'm talking about. And at first I thought it was trying to like, you know, zoom in to like a really sort of important item, or like zooming into like a really sort of important details that might come back later on in the movie, who knows. But there's so many of them, and some of them like they just zoom into nothing. Like it's just like the editing in this movie is so poor, like it's so bad. But seeing Lara Croft solving puzzle is actually really cool, and you know, it's just they found some really interesting way to make the puzzle not boring, because there's only so many things that you could do with, like, let's say like a Rubik cube or like a little puzzle things. But they found a way to make the puzzles pieces not boring, and each one is sort of unique. And the movie is 2 hours. Like it went by so fast. For some reason, when the movie ended, I was like, wait, they're not wrapping up now, are they? Like it's only like been what, an hour and 30 minutes? Like the movie is 2 hours. But it felt like an hour and 30 minutes. I don't know if it's that a positive. It could be a positive things. It could be the movie's very well paced. All in all, I think this movie is worth checking out for the performance from Alicia Vikander as Lara Croft, and some really intense action sequences. If you're asking me if the movie break the video game movie curse, for me personally, I think it did. But I can't speak for everybody. I don't think this movie is going to break any new ground, nor would it win over the critics. I don't think critics is going to love this movie all that much. So for the rest of the world, I don't think it break the curse, but for me personally, it kind of did. And one thing that I found really weird is that for a video game movie, when the movie feel least like a video game, that's the most effective part of the movie. When they try to embrace the more sort of silly, sort of video gamey, I don't know if is that even a word, but you know, that's where, you know, the flaws sort of happen. But when they try to take the movie serious and they try to be like a real movie, that's the good part. This is definitely a step to the right direction for a video game adaptation, and for that reason, I'm gonna give Tomb Raider a 6 out of 10. I read this article that's saying, you know, all the Tomb Raider fans, they're outraged because Alicia Vikander doesn't have big breasts. That's some of the stupidest thing that I've read all years. Like, why? You know, I miss the days where people show up to movie just for the movie, and like, you know, they love or hate the movie because of the quality of the movie. Not because of some stupid ass reason like, oh, the main character doesn't have big boobs, so I'm gonna hate this movie. That's fucking stupid. Like, I don't know, like modern movie audience, they're so weird. Like, I feel like we don't show up to movie to watch the movie anymore. We show up to movie with some type of agenda, some type of, you know, like we're looking for things to hate in movies nowadays, instead of, you know, watch the movie and then after the movie we love or hate, or, you know, feel however we want to feel about the movie. What is going on, guys? So if you've got a chance to see Tomb Raider 2018, let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? And just a very quick announcement, I will be seeing Pacific Rim Uprising next Tuesday. So yeah, stay tuned for that review. And if you enjoy my review for Tomb Raider, hit the like button, subscribe to me. You want to see more reviews like this. With that being said, I'll see you soon.